Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I have a little sweet candy book made out of paper to share with you. And for this, it's super easy. I'm going to be sharing all the dimensions. I've cut some templates here, and I'm going to show you just how to put these together and make it super simple. For this project, all you need are a couple different colors of cardstock. Today I'm using British Racing Green from Maker Forte. This is a beautiful weight cardstock, and cut the green, which is going to be the book, 9 inches by 5¼ inch. And we are going to score this now at the 4-inch mark, then at the 5-inch mark, and that's going to give us a beautiful binding for this book. So just 2 score lines on this one, super simple. Now for the red paper, which is going to be the little pocket for the candy, cut 7¾ inches by 6¾ inches. And then on your scoreboard, line up the 6¾ inches side and score at 3/4 inch and 1½ inches. And then turn it over and score at 3/4 inch again and 1½ inches. Then you're going to turn it to the longer side, which is the 7¾ side, and score that at 3½ on each side. So turn it around and score at 3½ again, and that's going to leave you with a little bit of a pocket there. See that? So simple to do. Now we're going to cut out the parts that we don't need. So I have the template here to show you what this is going to look like. So I'm just going to X out the parts I'm going to cut off, and you're going to cut these at the score lines. So see this? We're going to remove just a little portion here. So I'm cutting off the 2 lower portions all the way up to that middle score line. I'm taking my detail scissors to do this because it's a little tricky to get right where I need it to be. So then I'll cut off that other excess little tab there. We're not going to need that. Now we're going to do it again on the other side. Cut off those 2 extra columns. Finish it off with my detail scissors here, and then cut off that extra little tab right like that. Now you're going to see we have a shape like this, and so we're going to cut the tab here and then kind of taper those down just a little. So that way we're going to get a better fold, and it's going to be easier to put together. So see, I cut it there, and now I'm cutting off 2 little tapered lines on each side of that tab. Cutting it up and cutting those little tapers. So this is what we have left, and that's going to be our pocket. So now that we have our pieces cut and scored, we're ready to start designing. For the book, I'm going to start by stamping a background, and I've already stamped this stamp that says "All I Want for Christmas Is You" on some silver vellum, and I've put that around the front panel. That makes it look a little bit like a book cover, I think. You know, like the dust cover of a book. And so that's why I did that, and I'm going to set that aside while we stamp the back. I'm taking this beautiful Damask stamp. I'm going to heat emboss it on the back panel. That's going to give it some feeling, texture, and a little bit of raised look. And I love how this looks. I'm taking some clear embossing sticky ink, and then I'll take some clear embossing powder and sprinkle that right over the top and heat set it with my heat tool. This is going to make the book so fun to hold in your hand because you'll have that feeling to it. And this paper is such a great weight already, but we're going to add a little more sturdiness to it in just a minute. But look at this, look how pretty that looks. And when I heat set it, it's going to melt clear and leave a kind of watermark look on this panel. So there is the heat set panel. That's the back of our book right there. And for the spine, I wanted it to say "Jingle All the Way." So this stamp is really pretty. It looks like an old script, really, really pretty. So I'm stamping that with embossing ink as well. And one thing I should mention about this stamp set is I believe that in the shop it's available in white rubber. So instead of the clear polymer stamps, you're going to get a better impression with the white rubber, and that's how they are selling it. So I had a prototype just to discover what could be done, and so that is the reason for that. I've got some glitter tape here, and I'm going to add them to the top and the bottom of the title of this book. And that's going to make it look a little more like one of those fancy books. And there you can see I've folded the spine now on those score lines, and it's starting to take shape. Really, really fun. With this one, I'm going to add the little tiny gingerbread man stamp to the bottom spine of this book. I'm going to also heat emboss this with clear so you get that raised feeling as well. So just heat set that, and look how cute, a little gingerbread man on the side. Now you can use any decorations that you want, of course, and I want to tie this shut with some ribbon, but I don't want it to cover the spine where it has the title of our book. So instead, we're going to put this ribbon on the inside of the book, and I just cut enough to kind of be able to tie that shut. So then I can place the panel right over the top. I use some score tape to tape down that ribbon so it won't pull out of the book itself. So it'll always stay there. And now I'm gluing the top piece of that cardstock with some liquid glue, and I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold our pocket. As you can see, I'm folding all of these score lines in, and we're going to put this together just like so. See how it's going to fit just like that? And for this, I'm using liquid adhesive. This is a strong liquid adhesive that's going to keep this well put together. You could also use score tape on these tabs if you want, which is what I do some of the time as well. But this liquid adhesive works really great for me, and it gives me a little time to line those up perfectly, so there's a little bit of wiggle room to get that perfect. Now that that is all squared up, I'm just going to trim some of the excess here. I had a little bit go over the top, so no worries, just trim that off. And that's going to fit right on the inside back cover, just like this. Starting to come together. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I always wanted one of those Lifesaver books. Remember how they used to put all the flavors of Lifesavers in there, and it was like a book shape? So you got all of the flavors to try. I don't think I ever got one of those when I was a kid. So this is probably me going back to my childhood, putting together a little book of candy. For the front panel here, we're going to use some score tape, but leave a spot for that ribbon to be placed through so it has some room to move just a little bit. This way, we're going to give ourselves some leeway so that we are able to tie that okay. I remember I did tape it completely to the back so that ribbon will not be able to be pulled out of the book. Now adding the pocket to the back panel, I'm going to use both score tape and liquid adhesive. The liquid adhesive will give me some time to move that around. The score tape will help to adhere that really well. We're going to be putting some candy in this. You could also use small gifts or gift cards and a small something in there, a little bag of treats. So there's a lot you can do, but I wanted that pocket to stay put. Now I'm just going to try tying this ribbon here, and it's a little bit long on one of the tail ends, so I'm just going to trim that, and now we've got a perfect size ribbon there. So always cut your ribbon just a little bit longer than you think so you have that leeway. Here's what it's going to look with the book cover right on top. So pretty. So for this, I went ahead and just folded over that silver vellum that I stamped and heat embossed this on. Now I'm just going to tape that on the front panel here. This front panel fits perfectly on the front side of the book, and so that's about 4 inches by 5 1/4 inch about. I think I cut it a little bit smaller just so it wouldn't hang over. And so when I tape that down, now this is ready to be adhered to the front of the book. You might notice I also kind of tore the edges a little bit to give it a torn edge look. If you have a decal edge trimmer, you can use that. I just tore it with my fingers, and I was really, really careful because I wanted that kind of old style look there. Look how pretty this is looking. So just attaching that with some liquid adhesive as well. And there is our book. The back cover has so much feeling to it. There's a lot of different things to look at, but the inside is still feeling just a little bit blank. So we're going to fix that right now. I'm taking that same gingerbread man nutcracker set at the beginning that I showed you. We used the little mini gingerbread stamp set or stamp from that. And I'm going to stamp that in red on a piece of paper that I've cut perfectly to fit on the front of that pocket. And I stamped that in red, and now for the top and the bottom, I'm going to add some greenery. But I'm doing this with some green sparkle embossing powder. Actually, I don't think this is sparkle embossing powder, just green embossing powder. This little leafy vine is also included in the same gingerbread stamp set, so it's perfect for decorating. I love it. So I did it on the top and on the bottom of this little panel, and that's going to fit perfectly on the front of this pocket. Now that looks a little better, doesn't it? Really pizzazzes up the middle. So I'm going to glue that down really well. I was running out of glue a little bit at this time, so I put extra on, and I'm just going to make sure that is well adhered to the inside. And this is a fun book because you could also attach a little note on the left side here of the panel. And today I'm going to put some of these See's lollipops in. These are some of my favorites. They remind me of my dad. He loved See's candies, and these lollipops, I grew up on them. My favorite is the butterscotch, but I like the chocolate also, so I've got a variety of flavors in here. They have some new flavors now too. I'm using a glue dot to make sure they don't fall out, so do that with your candy because it looks beautiful, and also it's not going to fall out of the book when they dump it upside down. Ask me how I know that. So there's a look at our completed book with the outside and the inside with the candy in there. So cute. Now I'm going to just tie that shut. You can use any ribbon you want. You actually can use this for any time of year. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be for any little gift you want to do. It's the cutest little book. This would be great for a book lover, someone that loves to go to the library. All kinds of things you can use this for. Really, really fun. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today with a look at this book made of paper, perfect for putting candy in. There's plenty of room to write a note still or tuck some more things in, lots of room. And so I'm just going to tie this up one last time so you can take a look at the finished product. So easy to do. I think you could do something other than ribbon here too. I'm thinking of a magnetic closure maybe next time would be really fun to do for this book as well. Think of lining a few of these up on the shelf. You could actually personalize these with names of people on the spine as well. And I think that would be fun lined up with their names on it. Really cute for a favor for a book club too. I love it. So I hope you do too. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're going to try it, I hope you'll tag me on social media so I can see your makes. And I really loved being here with you today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. And I love and appreciate all your comments as well. I'll be back real soon with more card making and paper crafting inspiration. Thanks for stopping by today. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.